Well, I am Lee Doughty, and I decided to tell you a little bit about how I got here and what I'm trying to do and whatever else pops into my little brain as we're going along with this. I guess it's been about 7 years ago now. I was over in the Seattle area picking up some stuff at a store, and when I walked out, I saw this sign across the street saying pawn shop. It looked like a big place. So I thought, I haven't been in one of those places in about 100 years. I think I'll just go in there and see what they got. So I walk in the door and I'm going, wow, there's this huge wall covered with 3 rows of electric guitars. So I'm standing there staring at these things. This funny little guy runs up to me and says, "Oh, sir, are you interested in an electric guitar?" I said, "I've never touched one. I don't know anything about them." "Oh," he says, "you look like the feller that ought to have himself a guitar." What a line. Anyhow, I'm still standing there staring at these things, so finally I asked him, "Well, how much they cost?" He says, "They're about $70 over there, and they're a couple $1,000 by the time you get over to that corner." So I'm still just standing there looking at him, and he says, "Well, why don't you just hold one for a couple minutes and see how it feels to you?" So I thought, all right, why not? So I saw this gray one down at the cheap end, and I said, well, that one doesn't look like it's too beat up. Let me hold it. So he hands it to me and immediately plugs it into an amp, and I'm standing there going, clang, clang, clang. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. The thing's totally out of tune. And he says, "Wow, sir, you really got a feel for that guitar. You better get it." What a character. Anyhow, I thought, well, it's only $70. I'll get it and take it home and try to figure out what in the world am I going to do with this thing. So I go home and go down to this little music store called Crossroads Music that we have here in Port Townsend, and just really nice people. And I show the guitar to the guy working there that day. He says, "Oh, hey, this is a nice guitar." I said, "What?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "This is a Washburn guitar." He says, most of the blues players back in the 30s and 40s and 50s always used Washburn guitars. And you got a nice guitar here. So I can't believe it. The guy didn't know that. Anyhow, he shows me how to string the thing and how to tune it. And so I brought it home and said, well, I've got it. I might as well try to learn how to use the thing. So I started working with it. I had an old radio there that had a jack that I could plug into. So that was my amp. And the next 2 years were just so terrible. Oh, terrible. But I'm a pretty stubborn man, so I just kept banging away at it. Finally, I started feeling like I was beginning to have some clue what to do with it. And I was thinking, well, what am I going to do with this now that I am learning how to play it? So I looked around the house, and there was pieces of paper I'd written stuff on over the years and just thrown around in boxes or on shelves, or probably a bunch of it in the trash. And I thought, well, what if I wrote anything down that I can make a song out of? So I go through this stuff and I see some. I say, well, I think I could probably put music to some of these things, maybe make a few changes. So I start working on that. And eventually I came up with a group of songs that I sort of like. And I've been buying used stuff for a number of years, trying to find some way that I'd be able to record this so people could actually hear it. Threw away the old radio. So I tried different cheap mics, and I tried a couple of video cameras, and I tried various amps, and I was always messing with stuff. Finally came up with a bunch of stuff, and I said, well, this seems to work together fairly well. So that's what I'm using to do these songs. I have to apologize because, it's not broadcast quality or anything like that. But it's the best I can do with what I've got. So anyhow, I'm going to continue to work on more stuff over time. And I'll try to improve some more, and I'll add some stuff. So check back occasionally and see if I'm getting anywhere. Don't just listen to my songs for 1 or 2 songs and think you know what I do. There's a lot of variety to these things, so you have to listen to more than 1 or 2 to get an idea of what I'm actually doing. Now, if you like what you hear, be sure to tell your 10,000 best friends. If you don't like what you hear, don't tell anybody anything. Now then, if for some reason you want to use any of my stuff, please credit to me. Now that's an ego trip, but I'd like people to know that it's one of my songs or something else that I may put on here later on. Anyhow, that's enough introduction for now. Maybe I'll do another one later on.